Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a deep dive into the world of Ettore Bugatti, a name synonymous with automotive artistry and innovation.
You know, it's hard to talk about Bugatti without thinking about those iconic cars, but there's so much more to the story.
Right, it's more than just fast cars. So let's rewind a bit. What can you tell us about Ettore's early life? Where did it all begin?
Well, he wasn't born in a garage, that's for sure.
Okay, so not your typical gearhead origin story, right?
Not at all. Ettore Bugatti was born in 1881 in Milan, Italy. And get this, his family, they were artists.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Artists. So surrounded by creativity from day one.
Yeah, his father, Carlo Bugatti, was a renowned furniture and jewelry designer. His pieces were true works of art, both beautiful and functional.
That's fascinating. So where does the love for cars come in? Was he tinkering in secret amidst all the canvases and sculptures?
Well, imagine this. A 14-year-old Ettore gets a motorized tricycle as a gift. And what does he do? He doesn't just ride it. He takes the whole thing apart.
Oh, I see where this is going. The early signs of a mechanical mind at work.
Exactly. He wanted to understand how it worked, and he even made some modifications. It's like that tricycle sparked something in him, a fascination with mechanics that would shape his future.
All right, so the seeds are planted. But how does he go from tinkering with tricycles to building some of the world's most coveted cars?
Well, it wasn't an overnight leap, but he was driven. Ettore landed an apprenticeship at Pernetti and Stucci, a company that made bicycles and engines.
From tricycles to bicycles, it's all starting to come together.
Right, and this is where he honed his skills. But even while working with bicycles, Ettore's ambition was always focused on something bigger, something faster. Then, at just 18 years old, he builds his first four-wheeled vehicle.
Wow, 18 years old. Talk about a prodigy. Okay, so we've got this artistic background, a budding mechanical genius, and a drive to create. What's the next chapter?
Well, remember that love for speed we talked about? Ettore starts racing in Italy. He wasn't just designing cars, he was experiencing them, understanding their performance firsthand.
Makes sense. You can't truly design a race car without understanding the thrill of the race. It's got to be in your blood.
Yeah.
So when does the name Bugatti officially enter the automotive scene? When does it all become real?
The defining moment arrives in 1909. Ettore, now a seasoned inventor, establishes his own brand, Bugatti, in Molsheim, Alsace. And this is where his vision truly starts to take shape.
Right, so Bugatti is born. What was his vision? What set him apart from everyone else?
Ettore had this philosophy, you see. He believed that nothing is too beautiful, nothing is too expensive.
Wow, that's quite a statement. It's not just building cars, it's creating masterpieces. So what kind of cars start rolling out of the Molsheim factory?
Well, one of the most significant early models was the Type 10, often nicknamed the bathtub because of its unique shape.
The bathtub. Okay, I have to see this.
Oh, it's a sight to behold. And get this, he built it in the basement of his house.
No way. The foundation of the Bugatti empire built in a basement. That's incredible. So this bathtub car was the first step towards those legendary Bugatti designs we know today.
In a way, yes. The Type 10 was like a prototype, showcasing Ettore's unconventional approach to design and engineering. It was a hint of what was to come.
It sounds like Ettore wasn't afraid to take risks to break the mold. So how did this translate into the cars themselves? What made them stand out?
Back then, cars were mostly seen as just machines, tools to get you from A to B. But Ettore, he infused his creations with art and craftsmanship, a level of detail that was unheard of at the time.
He saw cars as more than just machines. He saw them as art in motion.
Precisely. He believed every single detail mattered. The engine's performance, the curve of the bodywork, it all had to work together, both aesthetically and mechanically.
Okay, so we're starting to get a sense of Ettore's unique approach. But there's one more piece of the puzzle we haven't talked about yet. His son, Jean.
Ah, yes, Jean Bugatti. This is where the Bugatti story takes an even more fascinating turn. You see, it wasn't just Ettore's vision that shaped the brand. It was the collaboration with his son that truly propelled Bugatti into the realm of automotive legend. Jean Bugatti. Now, there's a name that resonates with automotive enthusiasts.
Yeah, he's a bit of a legend, isn't he?
Yeah.
What was it like, this father-son duo working side by side?
It's like imagining a workshop where artistry and engineering become one, Jean, growing up surrounded by his father's work, he inherited that same passion. But he also brought his own unique perspective.
So it's a mix of legacy and fresh ideas.
Exactly. It was a remarkable partnership. Ettore with his experience and Jean with his youthful enthusiasm and innovative thinking. They pushed each other, always striving for that Bugatti perfection, always challenging conventions.
That's got to be an incredible dynamic, right? A fusion of generations and ideas. What were some of the cars that came out of this collaboration?
Well, one of the most iconic examples is the Type 35, a car that dominated racetracks throughout the 1920s. It was a true testament to the Bugatti philosophy, beauty and performance all in one.
The Type 35. Now, that's a car that's etched in racing history. I read somewhere that it won over 2,000 races. 2,000. That's unbelievable.
It's a record that still stands today. And it wasn't just luck. The Type 35 was a masterpiece of engineering. Innovative design, meticulous attention to detail, that pursuit of aerodynamic perfection.
Okay, so it wasn't just about raw power. There was more to it.
Oh, absolutely. Take the engine, for example. It was a work of art in itself. Cast aluminum crankcase, meticulously crafted components. It was powerful, but it was also beautiful, even the parts you couldn't see.
It's like they believed that beauty in engineering actually enhanced the functionality. Every little detail had to be perfect.
Remember Ettore's philosophy, nothing is too beautiful, nothing is too expensive. That applied to every aspect of their work.
But there's another Bugatti creation that always comes to mind, a car that almost seems mythical in its ambition.
Ah, the Royale. Now that was a car ahead of its time, a symbol of ambition and pure luxury, designed for royalty, heads of state. Imagine a car so grand, so opulent.
I've seen pictures, but it's hard to grasp the scale of it.
Well, for starters, it had a massive 12.7-liter engine. Think about that for a second. That's bigger than most aircraft engines back then.
Wow, that's like putting a tank engine in a luxury car. I guess that explains why it was called the Royale. But didn't it flop?
You're right, it was a commercial failure. The timing was unfortunate. It debuted right as the Great Depression hit.
No, that's got to sting. Such an ambitious project, a masterpiece, but the world just wasn't ready for it.
It's one of those what-if stories. But even though it didn't sell well, the Royale solidified Bugatti's reputation as a brand that dared to dream big. And sadly, this period was also marked by personal tragedy for the Bugatti family. In 1939, Jean Bugatti died in a car accident while testing the Type 57.
Oh, that's terrible. To lose your son, your partner in creation, it must have been devastating for Ettore.
It was a profound loss, both personally and professionally. The company was already facing challenges with the looming war and the global economic climate. And then this happens. It casts a shadow over everything.
I can't even imagine the weight of that grief, on top of all the other pressures. Did Ettore continue to work after that? What happened to Bugatti during the war?
Ettore, despite the grief and the challenges of the war, he fought to keep his company alive. The Bugatti factory was seized during the war, and he had to fight to get it back. But sadly, Ettore passed away in 1947 before fully realizing his vision of reclaiming his company.
What a roller coaster of a story. The highs and lows of Ettore's life are just incredible. From a workshop in Milan to international racing success, from building cars that redefined luxury to enduring personal tragedy and wartime struggles. But what about the Bugatti brand today? Did it fade into history, or did it somehow manage to survive?
Well, the Bugatti story doesn't end there. In fact, it takes some unexpected turns that I think even Ettore would find surprising. But we'll have to shift gears once more to explore that part of the story.
Oh, you've definitely got me on the edge of my seat. But the story doesn't end there, right?
Not at all. The Bugatti name, it's fascinating how it never truly faded away, you know? It went through different phases, ups and downs, but it always seemed to find a way to come back.
It's like that spirit of innovation, that artistry, it just would let the brand die. So walk us through those later chapters. What happened after Ettore's passing? How did Bugatti navigate the post-war world?
Well, it wasn't easy. The company, after Ettore died, it struggled. The world had changed, you see. Those ultra-luxurious, hand-built cars, they weren't in such high demand anymore.
Right, the market was different.
Oh.
Tastes had changed.
Exactly. The Bugatti family eventually sold the company, and it went through a few different owners, each one trying to, I guess, recapture that Bugatti magic.
I can imagine. It's a delicate balance, isn't it? Trying to stay true to the brand's legacy while also adapting to new realities. Were there any notable attempts to revive Bugatti during this time?
Oh, there were attempts. Some tried to bring back that racing heritage, you know, that speed and performance that Bugatti was known for. Others focused on new designs, trying to capture Ettore's vision in a modern way. But it wasn't until the late 1980s that things really started to change. An Italian entrepreneur, Romano Artioli, he acquired the Bugatti name.
Okay, so a new chapter begins. What was Artioli's vision for Bugatti?
Well, he wanted to create a supercar, a car that would be a true homage to Ettore's legacy, but also one that would push the boundaries of what was possible, both in terms of performance and technology.
Ambitious. Did he succeed?
He did. He built a state-of-the-art factory in Italy and created the Bugatti EB110, a stunning car.
The EB110. I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
It was a beast. 3.5-liter V12 engine, quad turbocharged, could reach speeds over 210 miles per hour. It was a true supercar, and it received a lot of praise.
So they brought back the speed. That classic Bugatti element. Did it last? Did this Italian revival stick?
Sadly, no. Despite all the acclaim, the company ran into financial trouble and collapsed a few years later. It seemed like Bugatti, once again, might fade away.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It seems so promising. But then how did Bugatti make its comeback? How did it become the powerhouse it is today?
Well, this is where the story takes another unexpected turn. In 1998, the Volkswagen Group, they acquired the Bugatti brand.
Volkswagen. So a German company takes over this Italian icon, a brand with roots in France. That's quite a journey.
It is, isn't it? But Volkswagen, they understood what Bugatti represented. They saw the potential, and they were determined to restore the brand to its former glory, to give it the stability it needed.
And I guess with their resources, they had the means to do it. What was their vision for the new Bugatti?
Their goal was to create a car that would not only honor Ettore's legacy, but also redefine what a supercar could be. And they did just that with the Bugatti Veyron.
Ah, the Veyron. Now that's a car that needs no introduction. It's almost a legend in its own right. What was it about the Veyron that made it so special?
An engineering marvel. It had a massive 8-liter W16 engine, quad turbocharged, generating over 1,000 horsepower.
1,000 horsepower. That's just mind-boggling.
And it could reach speeds of over 250 miles per hour. It was the fastest production car in the world at the time.
It's like they took Ettore's philosophy of nothing is too beautiful, nothing is too expensive, and they just went all out, right? Pushed it to the extreme. The Veyron wasn't just a car, it was an experience.
Exactly. It was a statement. And they didn't stop there. Bugatti followed the Veyron with the Chiron, which pushed the limits even further. And they've also released limited edition models that pay homage to some of the classic Bugattis, keeping that history alive.
It's incredible, isn't it? The Bugatti story, from those early days in a workshop in Milan to dominating racetracks across the world, from periods of uncertainty and revival to creating some of the most awe-inspiring cars ever seen. It's a testament to human passion, to ingenuity, to the pursuit of excellence.
It shows that even when faced with setbacks, with changing times, a brand built on innovation, artistry, that relentless pursuit of something truly special, it can endure, it can thrive.
Looking back at Ettore Bugatti's life, his vision, his legacy, what do you think is the most striking aspect of his story?
I think it's how he brought together those seemingly opposite worlds, the artistry of his family, the precision of engineering. He didn't see them as separate things. He saw them as complementary. And when they came together, they created something truly extraordinary.
He redefined what a car could be, more than just a machine. He saw it as a rolling work of art. And I think that's the lesson that goes beyond cars, It's about that pursuit of excellence, that passion.
Absolutely. It's about that fusion of art and technology, about that desire to create something that's both beautiful and functional, something that truly stands out.
Well said. It's been an incredible journey, exploring the world of Bugatti, the life and legacy of Ettore Bugatti. Thank you for joining us. And as always, keep those engines running.